Hi, good evening. How are you doing? I hope you are doing well. I'm doing great. I don't know whether we have anybody here. Welcome to the live tonight. We are going to have a live tonight. How many people do we have here? Maybe we can start by saying hi to each other so that we know who we have. So I'm doing well. How are you? Let me know where you're watching me from. I can see we already have 3 people with us. It's alive, and like we always say, we want to go together. We want to go together, so we give a few minutes for people to join in. So I want to know who is with us here. Please, if you can say hello and let me know where you're watching me from, that would be fantastic. Please say hello. Let me know where you're watching from so that we move together. Who are the people that we have? Say hello to us so that we move together tonight. Hi, Rose. Oh, Rose Kadenge. Welcome, Rose. Thank you very much. Rose is watching us from Syokimau. Karibu sana, Rose. We have Frida Kavere, who is watching from Thika. Much welcome to the live tonight. Who else do we have here that wants to say hello and let us know where they are watching us from? Wow, Cecily Njage from Mombasa. Karibu sana, Cecily. Always a pleasure. We have Lucy Bernard. Hi, Lucy, watching from Kitengela. Karibu sana. Alicia Kingori. Hi, Alicia. Karibu. Alicia is watching us from Nakuru. We have another person who is watching us and who is here with us and would want to say hello. It's always good to know that you're not alone. Wow, Triza Ndambuki. Hi, Triza. Always welcome. It's always good to see you here watching us from Kitengela. We have Caroline Mwende who is watching us from Nairobi. Karibu sana, Caroline. Welcome. Do we have someone else who wants to say hello before we proceed? Anybody else with us and wants to say hello before we go into the lesson for tonight? Say hello. It's always good to know who is here with us before we proceed. And if you have questions tonight, we are going to talk about why you keep attracting toxic people. If you have questions, I would want you to start posting them in the comment section. I will look at them as I move on, as I proceed. Why do you keep attracting toxic people? If you have a question around that topic, please post your question in the comment section. Thank you, ladies, for making time tonight to be with us. I want to appreciate you for being committed to attending. There are a lot of things that you could be doing at this hour, but you have chosen to be here. I appreciate and I honor your time. I hope and pray that at the end of the session, you will have learned. You will not leave the session the same, so that you have value for the time that you have invested to attend. For those interacting with me for the first time, my name is Coach Ruth Waithera of the Soul Clinic. And the Soul Clinic is where we fix your pain, we help you feel good and live wholly. Because I want to see women living a whole, fulfilled, purposeful life. So I want to help us overcome the things that bring us down, get over our pains, help us feel good so that we're able to pursue our purpose in life. We have Terry Steve, who is watching us from Nyeri County. Thank you very much, Terry. Karibu sana. We are almost starting our session. Much welcome. I've said if you have questions, you can start putting them in the comment section. I will look at them as we proceed. So as Coach Ruth Waithera, my mission in life is to help you gain clarity in your relationships so that you stop struggling. Because relationships are not meant to be full-time struggles, unlike what many of us were socialized to believe. So I want to help. I want to help you gain clarity on the issues that could be facing your relationships, so that your struggles can end. So today I want to help those who have realized that they keep attracting toxic and dysfunctional partners, to understand why they keep repeating these patterns, because it's very important to understand why do you keep repeating these patterns or these cycles when it comes to your choice of partners. And understanding this will help clear your confusion. It will ease your pain, because heartbreaks are not pleasant. So I want it to ease your pain, to wipe your tears, and to help you make decisions that are good for you and for your relationships. I want to see us having healthy, fulfilling, enjoyable relationships that build us and support us to become the best versions of us. Not the kind of relationships that keep pulling us down and bring out sometimes the worst in us. So tonight, like I said, we are talking about why do you keep attracting toxic people? And maybe to start with, we need to clarify, when we talk about toxic people, what kind of behavior patterns are we looking at? What qualifies a relationship or a person to be labeled as toxic? Toxic partners are emotionally unstable. They, they will act in ways that bring you down through criticism. They will ignore your needs. They will downplay your concerns. They will magnify your weaknesses. And they will make you feel wrong in every way. And they are unsafe. They are the kind of people that we can classify as unsafe. Relationships with them are unsafe. And through interactions with a toxic person, you will find yourself doubting your abilities. You become hypersensitive. Your insecurities are aroused. You can't think straight. You will realize that you keep on second guessing yourself. So you're no longer able to make decisions. You don't trust your decision making abilities. And eventually you will feel emotionally exhausted and drained instead of feeling refreshed. So if you want to know whether the person you are in a relationship with is healthy, safe, or toxic, look at the things that I have described. Since you met this person, did you start doubting your abilities? Are you hypersensitive? Have your insecurities been aroused? Do you keep second guessing yourself? Do you feel wrong? Like in all aspects of your life. And I want you to understand that toxic people are energy vampires. They are energy vampires. They keep taking, never replenishing you. Remember, we always say that relationships are reciprocal. Healthy relationships are reciprocal. But when in a relationship with a toxic person, you are the one who keeps on giving. You are the one who keeps apologizing. You are the one who keeps on trying new things. The burden of making the relationship work lies on your shoulders. And it's a very heavy load. And that load keeps on being added on a daily basis until you crumble. You'll be crumbling under the heavy weight of the relationship, and the person will not care. They keep adding the load. They keep adding the load. They keep complaining. They keep lamenting. They keep making you feel terrible. So you will find yourself on overdrive all the time, doing everything within your power to make the relationship work. Yet all your efforts are never good enough. The other person never gets satisfied, because toxic people are impossible to please. Impossible. Even if you laid down your whole life, it will still not be enough. And the behaviors of toxic people is driven by their unmet needs. They have unmet needs, deep-seated insecurities, which are as a relationship of neglectful, unloving, or abusive experiences in their childhood. And I like to say, toxic people normally like to wear a mask. They are not as put together as sometimes they want to make you think. No, they are not. Anybody who is put together, is healthy, and is in confident with themselves, does not put other people down. They don't derive joy and pleasure from making other people suffer. So if you see somebody who derives pleasure and joy from other people's suffering and pain and confusion, that is somebody who has very deep seated insecurities. And the behavior of toxic people is abusive. That is why relationships with toxic people are dangerous. They hinder your growth, and you can never show up in your full potential because that behavior is abusive. And I like to put it, abuse is like slavery. You are not in control over your life. You are not in control over your decisions. Your freedoms are restricted. You can't be, because there's another person who has put such a heavy load on you that it is impossible for you to thrive and to become. I see some people, other people have joined us. Lucy Kamene has said hello from Mombasa. Karibu sana Lucy. Mwangi Wanjiko from Muranga, much welcome. If you are here and you want to say hello to us and tell us where you are watching from, please say hi so that we can know who is with us. So then why then do you keep attracting the kind of people that I have described above? Because if you encounter a toxic person once, and you are able to quickly remove yourself from the situation as soon as it starts to feel unsafe, we can say you are unlucky. That was just one unlucky incident, and you're a healthy person. So once you realize it's not working, you are able to quickly remove yourself from it. However, if you continue to stay in a long-term abusive relationship with a toxic person, you are staying. Yet you know and you understand very well that the kind of a person you are with is not good for you, and you feel stuck. Or if you realize that you have had this stream of toxic partners over time, you need to understand that you're choosing these people at a very subconscious level. You are attracting dysfunctional beings at a very subconscious level, and even then they are getting attracted to you at a subconscious level. So this attraction happens both ways. And what you need to realize is that you are recreating patterns from your childhood or from your past. It's those patterns that are familiar that you are recreating. And in the cycle of life, the family is the first institution where we learn about intimate relationships, the family. Because it's in the family where we form secure or insecure attachments with the parents, or caregivers. And this secure attachment is based on unconditional love. Some time back, we did a video on attachment styles. And if you didn't watch it, once you go to our YouTube page under lives, you shall see that video. It's very important to watch it so that you understand about secure and insecure attachments. Because this, the basis of your attachment styles is formed at home as a child, as you're growing up. Because it's in the family that we learn whether we are good enough, or not good enough. It's there that we learn whether we are acceptable or not acceptable. whether we deserve respect and good treatment from other people or not. In secure family interactions, we learn to express our opinions and to have our needs met. That is the ideal secure family interaction. Is where you learn to express your needs in a very, very safe environment without being shamed or made to feel bad about it, and to have your needs met. So if you are raised in a dysfunctional family where your needs for love and safety are not met, where you are to be seen and not to be heard, where emotional expression of needs was not encouraged, a family dynamic where there was a very strict way of doing things and individualism was not encouraged, and children were labeled as good or bad depending on how well they stuck to the set down code of regulations. If that is how you learned to view yourself, or how you learned to value yourself, then you are likely going to choose partners who create or who recreate, because it's a recreation process, who recreate these situations for you. And these partners will behave in ways which are familiar to you, depending on how your parents or guardians treated you. Because we fall in love with what is familiar. And for many of us, that is why you'll say, I met someone and I feel like I've known him all my life. And the question goes, is it possible that this person is recreating an experience that you are very well familiar with? That is where you feel like you know them. And you will fall in love at first sight. Woe unto you if it is your dysfunctions and your traumas and your inner wounds that are at play here. Because you fall in love with what is familiar. You are programmed that love is earned through people pleasing. Love is earned through people pleasing. You are only recognized by your parents if you behaved in a certain way. And this is why you keep trying doing things to please your partner. A partner who has already proven to you that they are impossible to please. You will keep trying. You keep trying to have them affirm you. You keep trying to have them validate you. Because in your subconscious mind, you know that love is earned by doing. I can see Judy Lea Waihenya. She has joined us from Nakuru. Karibu sana Judy. Mwende Ruth from Nakuru. Karibu sana watu wa Nakuru, naona mko kwa wingi. You are in the house. Do we have anybody else who has joined us and wants to say hello or a question up to that point? Anybody with a question up to this moment? Please put your question in the comment section. I will answer them as we go on. And I was saying that to please your dysfunctional partner, you will keep hopping from book to book. You have this huge library of books that you have. You are from one YouTube channel to another, one program to another, hoping to gather enough skills to reignite the fire that you had in the beginning. That is all you are hoping for. That I can gather enough skills to be able to make this person happy so that they can give me the attention that they used to give me at the beginning. And these efforts to make a relationship work are good, because you neglect your relationship, it will die. But they are only good if the person you are dealing with is healthy, because they'll be reciprocal. You will be pouring into them and they pour into you. But when you're dealing with a dysfunctional partner or in a dysfunctional relationship, because for you to also survive and get stuck in a dysfunctional relationship, you also have your own serious levels of dysfunctions. It's not just the other person. Even you have your own dysfunctions. So in the event of those very dysfunctional relationships, the burden of making the relationship work lies on one person. So these efforts are not reciprocal. And the dysfunctional or the toxic person we are talking about today will keep doing things that easily break your trust and make the relationship unsafe. After doing those things, they expect you now to come and cleaning up the mess. So they will create a mess, they expect you to clean it up. They will do things, blame you for it. You will never get accountability with this person. So it will be a responsibility to keep picking the pieces, trying to make the relationship work. Because what we learn in early life shapes how we show up in relationships. Belief patterns, our perceptions of self, are formed in the early stages of life. And I have talked extensively about these thought patterns and belief systems in my book, The Hidden Abuse. And I'm hoping all of us here have gotten a copy of that book. And if you have not, please go to the comment section. There's a link to accessing the book. Get a copy for yourself. Because although these belief patterns might cause us harm, they are so ingrained in us. They are so ingrained in us that challenging them becomes a problem. Not only are they so ingrained in us, they are supported by the society, which is what makes it very, very dangerous. And they will feel so right, very right. People will reason with you as to why they are stuck in a toxic relationship, and it will feel right. It may actually feel noble. One of my examples that I love to give is how society has hailed women, hailed them, put them on a pedestal up there. You know, the kind of women who act tough and strong in the face of abuse. Those kind of women are given beautiful titles. They will be the homemakers, the pillars of the family. Why? Because they did not run away at the sight of trouble. So they toughed it out. They made the family stand. They are hailed. They are the examples that you're given. They are good, awesome, God-fearing women, I dare say. That is what the society chooses to see. Now, those who refuse to be abused and take a stand against abuse, they will be labeled and branded as cowards. They will be the family breakers. They will be the unwise. They will be called foolish. And every other negative label that that the society can get. Now, what the society does not consider are the effects of enduring abuse on the woman. And I'm talking about the woman because this is normally a women's forum. It's not just women that are abused. I have said this many times that men are also abused. But I choose to focus on women because this is a women's forum. So the society does not consider what are the effects of this endurance on the person enduring. What are the emotional, psychological, spiritual, financial, and health implications of living in a volatile and abusive relationship? The other thing that the society does not understand and does not consider is, what are the implications of raising children in a volatile home? What are you teaching them? What are they becoming? And no wonder the cycles and patterns of abuse keep getting passed down through generations. So it is through the belief patterns and socialization processes, what you saw your mother, your auntie, your grandmother doing. This is what confirms what we think the world at a very subconscious level. So even if these patterns are doing you harm, they have been ingrained in you to be the right ones, the correct ones. And you will stick to them no matter how much pain they are causing you. So if you are raised in an environment where you learned that you do not deserve to be heard, you don't deserve to be heard, you will choose partners who disrespect you and gaslight you. They will disrespect you, they will gaslight you into being silent. If your core belief is that you are defective, and a lot of people don't understand their core beliefs, they don't pay attention to those. Our internal environments are so neglected. We were taught to neglect our internal environment and listen so much to external validation and what people are saying about us and to us. So if your core belief, and I don't know how many of us know about their core beliefs here, is that you are defective, you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you will confirm this core belief by choosing partners who criticize you, they invalidate your experiences, they make fun of you in front of your family and friends. Why? Your core belief at a very subconscious level attracted somebody who confirms what it already knows about you. So anyone who is feeling stuck in a dysfunctional relationship has a very dysfunctional view of self. Anyone stuck and feeling helpless has a dysfunctional view of self. Because with individuals with healthy esteem do not take decades to decide. They don't take forever to make a decision. They don't keep second guessing themselves on the best course of action. They will seek opinions of others, but eventually they will make a decision that supports them. So if you find yourself stuck, feeling helpless, like this situation will kill you and you don't know what to do about it, the first thing that you need to assess is your view of yourself, because it's dysfunctional. So some of us are stuck because we are still waiting for people to validate us. We are waiting for people to validate our decisions. I don't know whether we have a question up to that point or a comment as I take some water. I see Jemima Remekel. Wow. Pardon me for not being able to pronounce your second name. She's watching us from Kajiado and she's saying it is insightful. Thank you very much, Jemima Karibu. We have Millie Mead, who is watching us from Mutheru. Karibu sana, Millie. We have been going on well. I don't know whether we have a question or a comment up to that point. What do you think about your view of self? Do you think it's dysfunctional or it's healthy? How you view yourself as a human being? Are you feeling stuck? Do you think you are raised in an environment like I have described? And awareness of these things does not mean that you are laying blame on other people. Because I think that is normally our greatest fear. If I'm willing to face the dysfunctions of my family, am I saying that my family of origin is bad? No. We don't have perfect families. Neither do we have perfect parents. Nobody is perfect. They also raised you the best way they knew how. Their dysfunctions came also from their families of origin. But that does not mean that now you don't do better for yourself. These things have to be broken at some point by someone. Let that person be you. The person that breaks these dysfunctional patterns. So your ability to view yourself through the dysfunctions of the family that you were raised is strength. And that is where your healing will come from. I cannot see anybody who is asking a question, so I will proceed. The other reason as to why you are attracting toxic partners is because you are a healer. You are a healer and a people pleaser. You love to see everybody happy and healed. And I want you to understand that at the core of an abusive person, like I said, are deep-seated insecurities. And toxic, abusive people feel worthless. They may not look like so, they may not behave as so, but the moment you understand their patterns, you will see it. They feel worthless. And they will choose beautiful, talented, and gifted persons, so that by association, they feel some level of worth in themselves. But they also love to take and suck life out of others. And that is why dysfunctional relationships are very exhausting, because this person just takes, they keep taking, never replenishing. Now, the victim on the other side is normally a healer and a people pleaser. You are a strong person. You want to heal people and rescue them from their pain. And that is where now the challenge lies. Because most victims of abuse believe that somehow they can love somebody into healing and into being healthy. Now, what they don't realize is that loving a broken person will just give you a one-sided relationship. And that one-sided relationship is heavy to carry. You keep giving, the other person keeps receiving. And at the end of it, you are drained and you are resentful. And that is where you will see the two fit perfectly like a perfect jigsaw puzzle. Because one loves to give, the other one loves to take. The giver feels valuable by giving, trying to heal, trying to solve problems for others. You identify what the problem this person has, you look for solutions on their behalf. What the two of them don't know is that they are both operating from a point of woundedness. And I have talked extensively about that very subconscious process in my book. So if you want to understand it better, you can get a copy of that book and read. Unhealed empaths, or the healers, like they are normally called, empaths, they think that they hold solutions to people's problems. Unhealed, mark the word unhealed, because empathy is good, but only if you're acting from a point of wholeness. So if you are unhealed, you are the kind of a person that believes there is something you can do to make the other person change. You always imagine that this person will change through your interventions. You believe that your prayer for the other person has to be answered somehow, because it is the key and the solution to their problems. At a very subconscious level, an unhealed empath needs somebody to need them. In the absence of somebody needing their assistance, in the absence of somebody needing their healing, they also feel worthless. This being needed is what they get from toxic relationships. The being needed. And they will cross boundaries against the other person. They don't think they are crossing boundaries, but they are crossing boundaries against the other person, trying to fix their problems. They will try to fix their financial problems, their infidelity issues, their addiction. They will have a solution. If only this person could do this. I'm trying to make this person see what I am seeing, but they can't. Now, what you don't realize is that you are crossing a boundary. You will apply for jobs, make CVs for someone who is not interested in getting a job. Get rehabs, pay for rehabilitation services. Because you are thinking, if only this person could see what I'm seeing and do what I am recommending, they would get better. At a subconscious level, you are looking to be needed. Because you derive your worth when other people need you, when you're fixing them, fixing their problems. Then you'll be feeling very happy that so-and-so was like this. I did this for them. Look at where they are today. Am I not wonderful? Dysfunctional views of self that we talked about. So, an unhealed empath, that need and desire to be needed will make them attract toxic people. An unhealed empath dreads what would happen to the other person in their absence. What would happen to so-and-so if I left their life? They may not know how to manage. On their own, they can't survive. They wouldn't know how to cook. On their own, they wouldn't know how to iron their clothes. I don't know how many of us here are like that. On their own, this person will die of alcohol addiction. So I need to hang around to fix them. I need to hang around to help them manage their pain and their life. Unhealed empath is the one who will blame the toxicity and the dysfunctional in the other person on their childhood traumas, which childhood trauma, we have said, is the factors that contribute to dysfunctional relationships. But they will stick there to try and be the mother that this person did not have. That is not healthy to do. It's actually a dysfunction. So then, now that you understand why you keep attracting toxic, dysfunctional people, what is the solution? What do you need to do? Solution number one is to understand your dysfunctions. Understand your dysfunctional belief patterns, understand your dysfunctional thought patterns, then try and change them through the reprogramming of your subconscious mind. Because like I said, for somebody to be stuck in a dysfunctional, toxic relationship, they are also dysfunctional. They have some level of dysfunction within themselves. But we are so focused normally on the actions and the behaviors of the other person that we don't pay attention to ourselves. We don't pay attention to what are the dysfunctions that made me attract this person in the first place. What are my dysfunctional patterns and belief systems that keep me stuck? So the solution lies in healing our inner wounds and our traumas. The solution lies in pursuing emotional health and well-being for ourselves. There's a saying that normally goes like, you attract who or what you are. And sometimes we imagine that you are being told you're also as toxic and as bad as the other person. No. You and the toxic person operate at the same energy levels. You vibrate at the same energy levels. Low self-worth, dysfunctional view of self. It's just that these things manifest differently. And because you are not going out to hurt the other person deliberately, we tend to imagine that we are better. And in this imagining that we are better, we become very self-righteous. We feel we have been wrong. We are the ones that have been wronged. We deserve justice. And yes, we have been wronged and we deserve justice. But if you want to keep away toxic relations for good, you need to heal your inner wounds and your inner traumas. It is as simple as that, but sometimes as complicated as that. Because once you heal from your inner woundedness, you become very unappealing to toxic people. They won't hang around you for long. They may target you, have an interaction with you, but after 1-2 interactions, they realize, you know what? This person does not serve the purpose that I want. So they'll move to the next victim. A healed version of you will also be able to identify the dysfunctional beings and keep them at bay before they cause or they wreak havoc in your life. So the only way to heal and deal with toxic relationship patterns is to heal yourself. The moment you understand that you and the toxic partner are both wounded souls, you're wounded souls. It's just that you manifest differently and your coping mechanisms are different. But neither of you has the capacity to have a healthy relationship. You don't. Actually, if you met a healthy person, they are normally very unappealing. They may not hit your expectations. Why? They are unfamiliar. Remember, we said that we love and we get attracted to what is familiar. So for you to be able to have a healthy relationship, you have to create a familiar, healthy, internal environment for yourself. From that healthy, safe, internal environment, you can be able to identify and to attract someone who has the same safe, healthy, internal environment. That is the only way. Otherwise, without healing, you will run from one toxic relationship to another. You will keep recreating those patterns. Without healing, you'll be helpless and you'll be stuck in toxic relationships. How many of you are with me up to that point? How many are together with me up to that point? I'm seeing Jemima, you are saying face pink tears. I am not sure I know what that means. Maybe you can explain that for me. What face pink tears means, I am not sure. Do we have anybody else who joined us after we had said hello? or somebody who has a question or a comment up to where we are today. We have somebody who has a question or a comment. We have a Facebook user who is saying this is very insightful. I'm happy. My greatest desire is to see people having healthy relationships, not just for ourselves, but also for the generations that come after us. We need to set a good foundational relationships foundation for our children. Otherwise, we raise children in dysfunctional relationships, they are also going to have very dysfunctional relationships. And those patterns will never end. And the pain keeps being recycled, which is not a good thing. And as we proceed, the levels of abuse and domestic violence keeps accelerating, it keeps getting worse. So these are matters that we need to deal with and address. It requires courage, it requires awareness, it will require you to rewire and change your thoughts and belief patterns, and that can be difficult. That can be very difficult. It can be a very scary process also to admit that the relationship you are in is dysfunctional. It can be a very scary process to imagine that you may lose it. That is scary. It's scary. But like I always say, there cannot be healing in the absence of truth. If you want to heal, you must be willing to face the truth about your dysfunctions, the truth about the roles you play. Because a relationship is normally like a dance. One person does a move, their partner does the move. That's another move. You do another move, they reciprocate. So if you find yourself in a toxic relationship, just know you are in a dance and you have your own contribution. I told you healthy people do not engage in that dance for long. They try a move, the partner steps on their toes. Then they're like, ouch, that hurts. They try the move again. The partner steps. By the time they are being stepped on their toes at that time, they are like, something is seriously wrong here. I'm out of here. Now, unhealthy, dysfunctional people keep at the dance. They will have their toes stepped on. They will say a million ouches. They will try to change the music. They will say, maybe it's the music we are dancing to. Let's try a different kind of music. They will change the music 100 times. It doesn't work. But they still feel the need. Even if they are hurting. And they know that this relationship is deeply negative. It's affecting them negatively. They still can't leave. They feel stuck. They are very worried about what would happen if they left. So if you find yourself in such a situation, just know that you also have dysfunctional patterns, dysfunctional view of self that you may need to address. Now, this process of addressing requires awareness. You need to develop an awareness about your situation, the situation that you are in. You need to read extensively. You need to listen to messages about this topic extensively. You may need to enroll for the services of a therapist or a coach. Do whatever you need to do to heal. Do whatever you need to do to break the cycle. I offer one-on-one sessions for people who may feel like they need support. So I support those who are struggling in emotionally exhaustive and draining relationships. So if you want me to walk you through a toxic relationship, please get in touch with me. I am so willing to offer you support and guidance in every step along the way. The other way that I support women and people who are in dysfunctional and toxic relationships is that I have written a book. Now, in this book, I have extensively looked at what constitutes hidden abuse. And the reason as to why I have looked at hidden abuse is because there are some forms of abuse that are so obvious, like physical. If somebody hits you, beats you, pushes you against a wall, or throws a plate of food on your face, now that looks like abuse. If somebody sexually abuses you, that looks like abuse. But there are other insidious types of abuse that are very hard to prove. Financial abuse, emotional and mental torture, and psychological abuse. A lot of people are not able to identify that. So I have written extensively about them in my book. I have also tried to explain to you why you are targeted for abuse, which is what we have attempted to explain in today's session. But I have put several other reasons in the book. I have shed light, which is very important. This one is very important, on the tools that abusers use the abusers use to control you. These are basically their tools of trade. I have put them up there for you in black and white for you to see. Because there are some things that somebody will do to you and make you think you're crazy. What you don't realize is that it's an abuse tactic. They're simply trying to gain control over you. I have also put in the book the myths that propagate abuse, the myths, the beliefs, and thought patterns that have been passed down over time through generations. These are the stories that we tell ourselves or that we are told by others, and they keep us stuck. And finally, all hope is not lost. I have set you up on your healing journey. In the book, I have a toolbox that contains some practical things that you can do to process your pain and to start your healing journey. Because you need tools. You need tools to help you break free. You need tools to help you deal with your dysfunctional belief patterns and your dysfunctional view of self. So if you want to know what you can do to unshackle yourself, if you want to know what you can do to help you deal with that dysfunctional view of self that I have talked about, please get a hold of the book. And the link to the book is in the comments section. So I don't know whether we have a question up to that point. I see Caroline Joroge told us that she's following along. Thank you, Caroline. Welcome. I don't know whether we have somebody else who wants to say something or to ask a question. Do we have somebody who wants to say something or ask a question? I don't seem to get someone. So if we don't have questions, if we don't have comments, I wish to end our session here and to say that it's always a pleasure to have you. I hope you have found value. And I really look forward to hearing beautiful stories of healthy, fulfilling relationships from you. Otherwise, at this moment, I want to say good night. Thank you for showing up. Until next time, okay, there's a Facebook user who is asking if we have an ebook. Yes, we have actually what we have for the hidden abuse is an ebook. If you follow that link, the one that's right above your comment, you will get yourself a copy of the ebook. Mwende Ruth is saying, pleasure to hear from you. Always thank you, Mwende, for showing up. I value you. I treasure you. And if we don't have another question or a comment, like I was saying, that I look forward to hearing very beautiful stories from you. I can't wait to hear stories of how people's lives are changed, how our relationships are turning around from you. So until then, until we see you for another live, enjoy your life. Have a blessed time. and keep getting healthy. Thank you. Have a blessed night.